Well, Coach Gassman and Coach Coach Gassman of Hyannis, Coach Trundy from Falmouth having a conversation there on the third base sideline as designated hitter Carl Stajuar flies one deep into left field, but Johnson is under it for the first out of the inning. One pitch and one out for Brady Puckett. And as I was mentioning earlier, two head coaches in Gassman and Trundy talking here on the third base sideline. And
number 2, Jordan
Gassman
Rogers.
struggling with an 0-5 team, Trundy with the 4-1 Commodores, but making a pretty bold move last night to pull his starting pitcher, Jake Bird, who was having a no-hitter through 6 innings. As Rogers comes to the plate, takes the first pitch, strike on the outside corner.
Yeah, and I mean, for Trundy, it's not that he wanted to come and do that. He felt like in the end he had to.
That one bounces by Lawrence for ball 1.
Because it was talked about that Bird had a pitch count. And he also didn't want to completely burn him out in the early on games here in the Cape League.
This one flies out into center. Shortstop in McLaughlin is going to go out and get it, and he'll make the grab for the second out of the inning.
Yeah, McLaughlin, a nice catch there. And way to call everyone else off and make sure it didn't drop in there. Rogers kind of got under that one a bit. But even though it's never a popular call for a guy to bring someone out, it's just can be especially more reasonable when it comes into the Cape League and keeping guys fresh.
Here's Drew Warden, swings at the first pitch, and he pops it up into the infield. Grenier is going to be under it, and he's going to make the grab for the third out of the inning. 3 up and 3 down for Brady Puckett, who's mowing down this Hyannis lineup through 4 innings. We'll head to the bottom half of the 4th. Falmouth leading 3-0 here on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. Zach Clark to lead things off for Falmouth here in the bottom half of the 4th. First baseman for the Commodores, and first baseman for Hyannis also out of Alabama is Zach Clark, finally signing his way to Alabama after bouncing around a little bit at Louisiana, southeastern Louisiana, as he flies this one into left field, but under it is going to be Proctor out in shallow left. He'll make the grab for the first out of the inning. As Cody Henry, not really familiar yet with Zach Clark, as Clark hasn't really stepped foot on Alabama's campus yet.
No, I've heard
number 26.
The previous game in Hyannis, Cody was kind of talking to some guys on the team saying that this guy was going to be his new teammate coming in there. So playing against teammates is normal here on the Cape.
And for fighting for the starting role at first, as well as Henry led the team, Alabama's team, in doubles this year, as Gonzalez fires that one high for ball 1. Count moves to 1-1 against the new batter, Matt Deuce. And it's going to be interesting. You're playing a teammate, but he's also coming in to take your position. Deuce fouls this one back for strike 2.
It gets a lot more interesting at times. It doesn't happen commonly enough, as it should, because it makes for a very interesting storyline. But when you see pitchers up against batters that they play on the same team.
This one into right. Truitt is going to take a few steps over to his left, and he'll make the grab for the second out of the inning.
But
we saw that happen with Perez of Bourne and Treg Habercorn, both out of Cincinnati in that first game of the season. Habercorn leading it off, and first pitch from Perez hits a double into left, and got some bragging rights there.
Yeah.
Get a little smile from Habercorn. Very, very cool to see teammates playing one another. Gonzalez fires on the inside at the corner, misses, indicating Grenier.
Probably the best thing from last year was Thomas Burrows, pitcher from Alabama.
Fastball on the outside corner that hits for strike one.
Was going up against his catcher in Will Haney from Katuitt, so they battled quite a lot as he was a starting pitcher then.
1-1 from Gonzalez is low. 2-1 to count.
For the most part, Burrows got the best of his catcher there, even though his catcher may have. Interesting to see how it goes. Catcher, you think he knows him probably knows him as well as anyone on the team.
You know, there's a difference between knowing and actually doing. Fastball on the outside corner hits for Andrew Gonzalez, who moves it to a 2-2 count against Grenier. 3-0 lead here for Falmouth in the bottom half of the fourth. That curveball misses in the dirt. Grenier lays off. The count moves to full.
And you can see that he's clearly getting his fastball over the plate a lot more. He's gotten two guys half swing. He's got a couple guys swinging at it too. So see how he tries to finish it off here.
Full count here. Gonzalez gets the sign, kicks, and delivers a fastball on the outside corner that hits for strike three. Another 1-2-3 inning for the Michigan State superstar in Andrew Gonzalez. And after a shaky first inning where he let up 3 runs on 4 hits, Andrew Gonzalez doing a really fine job here in the last 3. 3-0. Falmouth leads. We'll head to the top half of the fifth.
What's donated here stays here. All blood that is donated to Cape Cod Healthcare stays on Cape Cod to help the lives of your friends, family, and neighbors. Learn more about donating blood, platelets, or hosting a blood drive at capecodhealth.org/blood center.
Shadows starting to engulf Gav Fuller Field here. Not quite yet over the mound. Definitely over the left fielder and Bryce Johnson. As we head to the top of the 5th inning here, as Cody Henry will lead things off against Brady Puckett, who's let up 4 hits and no runs. Henry skies the first pitch out near third base. Grenier will have to track it down, but he'll make the grab. 1 pitch, 1 out for Puckett, who dominated in the bottom half of the 4th inning. Had only 5 pitches to get those 3 outs.
Now he's got 3 straight pop-outs as well against these Harbor Hawks. So Hyannis is getting under his pitches a lot more now and need to find a way to reverse that, as so far this game defined by that first inning, 3 runs by Falmouth.
Puckett kicks and delivers a fastball that misses to Chris Hudgens. Puckett ranked the 10th best right-hander in the state of Tennessee back in 2014, his senior year, as Hudgens skies this one. Out to grab it is Matt McLaughlin, the shortstop in shallow left field. 3 pitches, 2 outs, 8 pitches, 5 outs and 4 pop-ups to go along with it. Hyannis not doing a good job of working the count.
Yeah, that's been one thing that they did well in that third inning, which helped them get the bases loaded too.
Habercorn watches one go by low for a ball.
But sometimes it's tough for these guys. If you see a pitch you like early, you usually try to go for it.
That one outside for ball 2. Count moves to 2-0, and Hyannis just seems like they're jumping the pitches, and they're not putting some good wood on it. His Puckett kicks and delivers. Habercorn chops this one to short. McLaughlin takes 2 steps to his right, makes the throw, but he cannot record the out as his throw drags Clark offline. So Drake Habercorn aboard for the second time today, but still not a hit.
Now, once again, it's all with 2 outs that Hyannis has gotten their guys on base.
Now batting out of Mercy University, number 8.
Need to try and find a way either to work Puckett, which he's done a great job at avoiding that so far, and maybe trying to find something else that they did in the third inning, but this time trying to score a run.
One of those 2-out hits belonging to this man and Trey Truitt as he watches an off-speed pitch go by for strike 1. Truitt 1 for 2 on the day. Smoked one up the middle in his last at-bat, and Trey Truitt swinging a hot bat as of late. Here's the 0-1 as Habercorn is off and running. This one gets through the hole at first and second. Habercorn rounding second base, and he'll end up at third. So the hit-and-run play from Hyannis pays off, and now runners on the corners with 2 outs for Ford Proctor, the shortstop out of Rice University.
Yeah, and great use of the hit and run there. Perfectly performed here, and a great call there by manager Gassman for that, and worked out perfectly. But now, once again, you're in a position that Proctor was in before. He didn't have a guy at third this time, but he's going to need more than an infield ball that doesn't go, that barely crosses the foul line to try and score the first run.
That hit coming with 2 outs. It loaded the bases as well as Puckett delivers a fastball at the knees for strike 1.
And you can see with Puckett now, early on he was going with his fastball upstairs a lot, and now he's kind of moving his fastball around the strike zone a little bit, which has been forcing guys to pop it up into the air.
Puckett comes set. He kicks and delivers on the 0-1, and Proctor fouls it off as Truitt was off and running on the pitch. Quickly, the count moves to 0-2. 3-0 lead here for Falmouth in the top half of the 5th inning. Runners on the corners for Hyannis with 2 outs. All their hits have come with those 2 outs. And now Proctor trying to get one here. Here's the 0-2 delivery. Proctor chops one and unable to grab it is McLaughlin. Habercorn will trot home for the first run for Hyannis, and Ford Proctor ends up on first with a 2-out knock and an RBI single.
And that's a stellar play there by Proctor. Stay alive in the count as he was down early 0-2. He didn't panic, saw a pitch that he got, and he got right under the glove of McLaughlin. And Hyannis gets back on the board and grabs a little bit here. Even with 2 outs now, they were able to find a way to score a run.
Tyler Lawrence just went out and talked to Brady Puckett, and what an interesting look that is, as Tyler Lawrence standing at 5'10", and Puckett nearly a foot taller than him at 6'9". 2 runners on with 2 outs, a 3-1 lead for Falmouth. And Zach Rutherford steps to the plate, the second baseman, as he watches the first pitch go by for a strike.
Zach Rutherford.
And look, this inning by no means doesn't have to be over for Hyannis. Rutherford gets a nice knock. Truitt has the speed over there at second to turn 3 and get in to make it a 1-run game.
Puckett comes set. He looks over at Truitt at second. Now a curveball, and Rutherford knocks it into right field, but it again right at Lenark for the third and final out of the inning, the second time that Rutherford has lined out to right field this afternoon. But Hyannis strikes with 2 outs in the inning off of a single from Ford Proctor to put Hyannis the first run on the board. So they'll head into the bottom half of the 5th inning, down 3-1. That's something to look forward to here on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network.
Chatham's Bar and Resort and Spa is the perfect blend of fun and excitement, a proud member of leading hotels of the world.
Some fifth inning shenanigans as some lucky Falmouth fans got to go on the field and play around a dizzy bat. And when I say fans, I mean about 6-year-old kids just with their gloves and with their plastic bats playing dizzy bat here at the first base dugout. Shortstop Matt McLaughlin to lead things off for the Commodores as Andrew Gonzalez first pitch misses up top for a ball. And Gabe, talking to our scouting intern, Nick Reagan, 90-mile-an-hour pitch from Puckett, a fastball down the middle to Rutherford, and then a 73-mile-an-hour curveball, and Rutherford still able to stay back and rope it into right field. Gonzalez fires this one in the inside of the plate for strike one. Count moves to 2-1 on McLaughlin.
Yeah, and you're surprised he got it out that far, even far enough out into right field that he was able to make a play on so easily.
Gonzalez kicks and delivers another inside pitch, but this one misses. Count moves to 3-1.
And now for Gonzalez, this inning becomes a little bit more important than his previous ones, as now Hyannis has clawed their way back in, and they're only down by 2, and they found some offense.
Gonzalez kicks and delivers it. Another fastball in the inside corner that hits for strike 2.
So for Gonzalez, it's even more imperative now that to keep doing what he's been doing the past couple of innings.
Payoff pitch from Gonzalez, and it's right at the knees, but called ball. That one was awfully close. But Matt McLaughlin will take a walk down to first.
Yeah, and Gonzalez had been trying to work the inside of
that
strike zone the entire at-bat.
Kevin Merrill.
That's how he got both of his strikes, and he tried to do the same thing, except this time going low, and maybe tried to force McLaughlin to chase at it, but he just didn't bite at that one, as Hudgens going to kind of go out to talk to him. And I think this is what you like with Hudgens. While at sometimes catcher going out there, especially here, not always a bad thing. Hudgens, of course, new here, trying to get a feel of things, especially with Gonzalez. So at times it might just be to kind of go out there and get a feeling of what he's thinking about, what he thought about that last at bat, and kind of what he's thinking about as now manager Gassman, after Hudgens returns, is going to have a talk as well.
Well, there's one man warming in the bullpen for Hyannis, or getting ready to warm up, at least. Gassman just wanting to have a chat here with Gonzalez and the infield as well.
And
that last fast, we head to the top of the lineup with Kevin Morrell, and it looks like Andrew Gonzalez, that will be it for him. 4 innings pitched. Got into the 5th inning, but he will take a seat, and he will not get to have a decision today unless the score holds and Falmouth holds on to this game. Unable to get the win in his second start. 4 innings, gave up 3 runs on 4 hits and 1 error. As we will take a break here at Gav Fuller Field for the pitching change. Stick with us here on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. John Gavin making his way into the game for the
Now
Harbor
batting
Hawks out of
University
Cal State
South Florida,
Fullerton
number 4,
to
Kevin
face the
Merrill.
lefty and Kevin Merrill. Bryce Johnson, a switch hitter, and he'll bat a righty. And then Michael Gigliotti, also a left-handed hitter. So the lefty and Gavin coming into an opportune time in this Falmouth lineup. But Gavin out of Cal State Fullerton, as we mentioned, he's got a teammate behind the plate that he's pretty familiar with. Gavin looks at first, kicks and delivers. First pitch strike as Merrill showed bunt there, but pulled it back.
And that might have some reasoning to do with Manager Gassman going with Gavin here. In this relief appearance, he knows the guy behind the plate, like you mentioned, Hudgens. In Hudgens, he's pitched with him before, so maybe a little continuity can help Hyannis.
Gavin checks first. He kicks and fires a curveball. It's a drag bunt. Cody Henry is over there to field it, to throw on to second. On the first is not in time, as Rutherford unable to get to the bag before the speedy Kevin Merrill did.
Now batting.
And everybody's safe here.
University number 20.
No out
Bryce
still.
Johnson.
Runners on first and second, and now Bryce Johnson will make his way to the plate, batting righty this time.
And it was hard to see there for Rutherford what exactly happened. I guess just didn't able to get this from the bag in time, but nice bunt, though, by Merrill to go right up the first base side and force Henry away.
Another bunt from Johnson, and he offers that, but misses for strike one. 3-1 lead here in the bottom half of the fifth for Falmouth, and they are threatening early on. 2 runners on, Bryce Johnson up at the plate. John Gavin coming in relief of Andrew Gonzalez, who went 4 innings.
With Hyannis changing their strategy a little, so is Falmouth, not taking as many swings right now, and 2 straight guys trying to force a bunt.
Gavin checks second. The 0-1 pitch again. Johnson shows bunt, but it's high and away for ball 1. Gavin looks in to the dugout.
Yeah, Ron Polk stepping out, giving some defense as Rogers really close in on the grass. Henry basically touching the grass, and then Proctor and Rutherford in their basically normal positions.
Gavin comes set. He checks second. We'll stare there for a while. He kicks and delivers. It's on the outside corner. Johnson doesn't show, and it's a ball. Count moves to 2-1.
Yeah, and just as right, Johnson getting some cues from Trundy in the dugout for Falmouth as well. So a little bit of a chess game going on here right now between what Hyannis and Falmouth are trying to do.
Some small ball play from Falmouth. It's worked for them well, but today all the runs coming off of big hits. Gavin delivers. It's fouled off by Johnson, and now the count moves to 2-2. Johnson seems to be moved on for the bunt.
Yeah, he probably just got the call off there from Trundy, and now just trying to put it in play and try to avoid a double play ball here for Hyannis, which would be coming great handy right now as they only trail by 2, but Falmouth threatening for more.
Still looking for the first out of the inning. The 2-2 pitch from John Gavin. It's swung on and roped over the head of Proctor. Coming around third is McLaughlin. The throw to 3 is not going to be in time as Proctor cuts it off, and it's an RBI single for Bryce Johnson. His second RBI of the day and his second hit to go along with that double back in the first.
Yeah, and that's just solid hitting there.
Now
Proctor,
out of Lipscomb
not
University,
many people
number
are going to
6,
get that. Not many
Michael
people are tall enough at
Gigliotti.
shortstop to make that play. But just popped it right over his head with enough, and just as easily as Hyannis tried to get back in this game, and Falmouth puts it right back where it was with 3 runs.
No outs. Runners on first and second for the 3-hitter. And Michael Gigliotti, a Lincecum teammate of Brady Puckett, the starting pitcher for today for the Commodores. Curveball from Gavin low and outside for ball 1 as he stares into center field for a little bit to collect himself. Gets the sign, takes the nod, takes a deep breath. Now comes set, kicks and delivers. A fastball low, but unable to hit the zone. Count moves to 2-0.
Yeah, and for Gavin here, he's taking some signs from his defense and needs to find something here as it's where you kind of start here questioning if Manager Gassman could have kept Gonzalez in there maybe for another batter or two and see how he was able to handle with them.
Gavin checks second once and twice. Now he fires. The fastball on the outside corner. Hudgens can't hold on to it. It'll be a ball. 3-0 the count. Gavin credited with the loss on Monday night in his relief appearance against Bourne. That went 10 innings. Gave up 3 hits on 1 earned run. All those 3 hits and that 1 earned run coming with 2 outs as he pitched an inning in the third. Fastball upstairs that lands for a strike. Gigliotti now going to pick out a pitch that he likes.
I mean, now all Gavin can do here is try to work his way back into this count or try to feed something that Gigliotti would like, but put into a ground ball here and just try to find a way to get at least 1 out with this batter.
Gavin fires. Swung on by Gigliotti. That one roped into right field. It will land for a base hit. Gigliotti rounding first. Truitt. The throw to second will not be in time, and coming around to score is Kevin Merrill. So an RBI double for Michael Gigliotti. Still no outs here in the bottom half of the 5th. And now Falmouth leads it 5-1 as they've struck 2 in this inning.
University number 41.
Yeah, Falmouth has found their bats again after they were really quieted by Gonzalez in that second, third, and 4th inning, as Gonzalez was sat 9 straight after that first inning. And now it's turned differently for Hyannis once again here in this bottom of the 5th.
Tyler Lawrence, the batter for Falmouth, as he watches the first pitch go by for a strike. Lawrence 0 for 2 on the day, reached on an error. That was Trey Truitt. Dropped that line drive out and right. Gavin kicks and delivers. It's swung on and fouled to the third base side. Near the third base dugout as the count moves to 0-2.
Yeah, now with Gavin reaching an 0-2 count here, it's pretty critical for him to try and give a nice pitch down there to either get the strikeout or do some kind of out here. He's been behind a lot of the guys so far since he's been in.
Infield is in for Hyannis. Now the fastball upstairs. That misses for ball 1. I like the play call from Ron Polk, bringing the infield in. 5-1 lead here for Falmouth, and Hyannis can't afford any more. They want to get back into this game. Here's the 1-2. Fouled back over to the press box, directly behind home plate. Shadow half covering the pitcher's mound. As Gavin's got to deal with a little bit of a different light. Here's the 1-2. It's outside. Count now moves to 2-2. No outs here in the bottom of the 5th. Gigliotti standing on second and Bryce Johnson at third, both with RBIs under their belts. Tyler Lawrence at the dish and a 5-1 lead for the Commodores. Here's the 2-2. Again, fouled off over the first base dugout this time.
Yeah, and now Gavin in a 2-2 count right now, and Lawrence is not letting go of anything that's kind of coming down as a strike here. So Gavin has to find a way to fool him. We're trying to induce something here, as Lawrence being very patient. As you can see, Gavin's trying to go to the upper zone there for the strikeout.
The 2-2 fastball misses on the outside corner, and the count moves full. Great at-bat here by Tyler Lawrence, like you mentioned. Spoiling a lot of pitches from Gavin, who's had to labor here in his relief appearance. Gavin comes set. Looks in for the sign. The curveball, it's up in the zone, and it does not hit. Taking a walk down to first is Tyler Lawrence, and now Chris Hudgens will come out and talk to Gavin. He's yet to record an out in 4 batters faced. All 3 of them
now batting out of Oregon State,
getting on base.
Number 29,
3 of those were hits.
Yeah, and that's a big hit to Gavin there. He was at an 0-2 count quickly, and then Lawrence kind of just worked his way through that at-bat, fouled a couple of pitches off, and wasn't biting anything that was upstairs, really, for Gavin to put away that final strike.
Corners come in for Hyannis as the middle infielders bump out to the grass. Tyler Lanark, excuse me. Coming to the plate for Falmouth. He'll watch the first pitch go by for a strike.
And now another crucial spot here for Hyannis. And they've been in this situation before where they've just struggled getting guys out here, and now they deal with the base loaded.
Curveball in the outside corner. Snap throw down to third. Sliding in safely. Bryce Johnson.
Yeah, and Hudgens trying to do everything he can to try and find an out a different way for Hyannis, as they haven't come easily here when it comes to just the batters at home.
Here's the pitch. It's outside. Lights come on here at Gov Fuller Field. Sun still isn't set. The 2-1. Fastball on the outside corner that hits for a strike. Forces at every base for Hyannis, as they're still looking for the first out of the 5th inning here.
Yeah, and another spot for Gavin. He's been at 2-2 counts before. See what he does here to try and get the next strike.
The pitch swung on, chopped up the middle. Proctor's going to get there. He's not going to have a play at second, but he throws on to first for the out. First out of the inning, Johnson comes in to score. It's a 6-1 lead here for Falmouth, and that play was really close here for Proctor, as looked like he was going to flip that one to Rutherford at second, but instead just barely getting Trevor Larnick out at first base.
Yeah, he somehow held on to it. He somehow thought of it with just enough time to not release the ball out of his hands, and did a good job at it, because if he didn't do that, he probably wouldn't have gotten the out at second, and all of that energy would have been for nothing.
Gavin delivers a first pitch strike to Zach Clark. The infield is in once again for Hyannis, as Falmouth has runners on second and third, trying to not let this one get out of hand as they try to get out of this inning, which has plagued them. 3 runs in the inning, only 1 out, as Clark swings through that pitch for strike 2. Three runs in the first, now 3 runs here in the 5th. The 0-2 pitch is low, and it just misses the zone. That one could have been strike number 3.
Yeah, Gavin's having a real tough time now on the mound, figuring out where to kind of place his pitches so far. As before, it's kind of the upper part of the strike zone's been there for him, and now it's not.
Here's the 1-2, swung on and fouled back, and that pitch that we just saw from John Gavin, a similar pitch in the one that Andrew Gonzalez threw to walk Matt McLaughlin to lead off this inning. Didn't hit the zone. It was a 3-2 count right at the knees, and McLaughlin took the walk. Now here's the 1-2. It's swung on. It's chopped to Rutherford at second. There's going to be a play at the plate. Is it in time? Yes, it is. Good play from Zach Rutherford to get Michael Gigliotti out at home plate, and a great tag from Chris Hudgens, as the throw from Rutherford was a little bit high and a little bit offline. But Hudgens with a great tag to put away Michael Gigliotti.
Yeah, and Rutherford now making 2 plays here, finding a way to get an out, and that's really what Hyannis has done. And it just found a way, as
Dallas Baptist University,
Gavin's found a way to get guys to induce some infield hits, and Hyannis' defense has been able to help them out and only giving up those 3 runs, but avoiding that 4th run here for this point of the inning.
Well, here's Matt Deuce with 2 outs in the bottom half of the 5th inning, and the first pitch from John Gavin is low for a ball. Runners on the corners for Falmouth, as Gavin looks over at first and now comes set and delivers. It's a fastball on the outside corner. Will be a strike. Count moves to 1-1 as Deuce, the lefty out of Dallas Baptist, had a great season this past year as a sophomore. Hit .321 with 30 RBIs and 11 doubles. Monster year for Deuce, and now up here on the Cape. Here's Gavin. It's chopped right back to Gavin. Gavin's going to have a He's going to have to release this one quickly. He throws on to first, and he's going to get the out. Good athletic play from John Gavin to get the third out of the inning. But Falmouth strikes again. Another big inning. 3 runs on 3 hits and no errors. 2 runners left on. We'll head to the top of the 6th inning. Falmouth leading this one 6-1. You're listening to the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. The Hyannis Overhawks and the Falmouth Commodores coming right back at you.
We head to the 6th inning here from Ernie Allen Diamond.
Now batting,
Falmouth Commodores against the Hyannis Harbrox. Hyannis still looking for their first win of the season, starting at 0-5, while the Falmouth Commodores trying to go 5-1 here in the early of the Cape Cod. Alongside Jack Keffer, I'm Gabe Sustick here. Brady Puckett still on the mound here in the 6th inning for Falmouth. He faces Carl Stadjuar, who's leading off for the 3rd straight time in this game. He faces a 1-0 pitch from Puckett. That one's down low as well for a 2-0 count. Stadjuar struck out and flown out as both of his leadoff at bats here in the 4 spot for Hyannis, as the 2-0 from Puckett fouled away high by Stadjuar for a 2-1 count.
Stadjuar flying one to the warning track way back in the 4th inning. About 2 feet away from being a home run.
He gets another one to left. Moving back is Johnson at the warning track once again, but he's there for the first out of the inning.
Gosh, deja vu there as Stadjuar put a piece on that one. And again, another 2 feet, and it would have been over the wall.
Didn't sound like as good of contact that he had in that 4th inning. But another one down here for Puckett. Only has 1 strikeout in this game. Everything else he's left for his defense. Hyannis has 6 hits today. Left the bases loaded, though, in the 3rd inning. As that one's this time going to right field. Moving back is Larnick, and he gets under this one. So 2 straight flyouts for Hyannis here in the top of the 6th.
Gosh, and 2 straight rips from Hyannis as well. They've been tattooed all over Puckett.
Now batting,
and it just seems like things haven't been falling for Hyannis. It's been like that all season. Obviously, still looking for their first win of the year, but down 6-1 here in the top half of the 6th inning, and it's going to be tough to climb out of the hole.
Drew Wharton steps in. 2 outs, top of the 6th inning. Falmouth leading 6-1. Puckett with a 1-0 count here for Wharton, who's 0 for 2 today. And Wharton, it's a nice piece of that one right near the bullpen of Falmouth. Had a play for a 1-1 count.
Yeah, Warren seems to be a little bit slow on his swing as his hands really cocked back behind his head.
1-1 missed low by Puckett. As is some motion going on in the Falmouth bullpen. But Puckett with the 2-1 pitch to Wharton. Wharton pops that one high into the air out of play. So stay at a 2-2 count, 2 outs for Drew Wharton here in the top of the 6th inning. His team trailing by 5.
Besides the last half inning, for Puck in the top of the fifth. He's been dominating this Hyannis lineup, already 2 outs in the inning.
The 2-2 from Puckett. Swing and a miss by Wharton. And the second strikeout for Brady Puckett. And he sits all 3 Hyannis batters in a row here. We head to the bottom of the 6th inning. Falmouth leading 6-1 on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. As we head to the bottom of the 6th inning.
Now batting out of
Here,
Oregon State University, number 2.
Ernie Allen
Caden
Diamond,
Brenner.
6-1 lead for the Falmouth Commodores. As a new pitcher on the mound here for the Hyannis Harbrox is John Gavin after relief of only 1 inning, allowing 3 runs. He will sit down, and Daniel Johnson will take the mound for the Harbrox, another lefty as well, and he deals the first pitch in there, called a strike on Caden Grenier.
Daniel Johnson, commonly known as DJ. And there's an asterisk next to that Arnie Allen Diamond.
And that one is flown, and making the catch there is Truitt on the run by the warning track. Great tracking there by Trey Truitt, and he gets the first out of the inning.
And Truitt was headed, that we saw him make an error earlier on a play like that, a sharp line drive. This time it was on his backhand side on the first on that first fly ball. It was on his near side, on his left shoulder, reaching across his body. This one, almost a more difficult catch that he makes. And as I said before, an asterisk next to that Arnie Allen Diamond. Arnie Allen Diamond at Gov Fulner Field. You were raised with that Arnie Allen Diamond thought process, I guess.
For the most part, yeah.
Yeah.
As Johnson, 1-0 count here to Matt McLaughlin. And that one just catches the lower part of the zone for a 1-1 count. McLaughlin struck out in the 2nd inning, walked in the 5th, and was a part of those 3 runs in that 5th inning, and he swings and misses at that one for a 1-2 count.
Johnson has made 2 appearances this year on the Cape. Only let up 2 hits and 1 earned run. Has walked 3, though. That was a part of that opening night loss to Bourne, a 3-2 loss in the bottom of the 9th inning, where Garrett Cave and Daniel Johnson walked 4 straight. Johnson was not credited with the losses. Garrett Cave was. Johnson was credited with the losses. He walked that 1 runner in.
And he fans McLaughlin there as he waves at that breaking pitch down low. So 2 quickly away here for Daniel Johnson.
Kevin
here
Merrill.
In the bottom of the 6th inning, with Falmouth leading 6-1, and up to bat it will be Kevin Merrill.
Merrill, we've already seen the speed on him. Drop down a bunt down the first baseline and beat it out. Already has 4 stolen bases in 5 games on the Cape.
Johnson deals that one line right into the glove, though, of Ford Proctor at short. And 1-2-3 go to the Commodores as Daniel Johnson in his first relief appearance gets it done. And we head to the top of the 7th inning. Falmouth still leading 6-1 on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. We head to the 7th inning here. Falmouth Commodores, Hyannis Harbor Rocks. Falmouth 4-1, Hyannis 0-5. As 6-1 lead for the Falmouth Commodores. A new man on the mound, though, for Falmouth, as Brady Puckett's day is done. And on the mound now, it will be number 31, Brett Gilchrist.
Cameron Este.
6'4" out of Dallas Baptist. And he'll step in place here for Brady Puckett. His first man will be Cody Henry, actually. That one is called for a ball. It will not be Cody Henry. In fact, it will be Cameron Este, who is now going to be coming in for Henry. And he looks at that one for a 1-1 count. So Este coming in here in the 7th inning for Cody Henry, and we'll see if he'll take his place over at first or if Hyannis will have some defensive switches in the next inning. That one's upstairs for a 2-1 count on Este.
Gilchrist, a freshman out of Dallas Baptist. We mentioned earlier, had 10 appearances, only pitched in 8 2/3 of an inning. Walked 12 batters, struck out 10, so really struggled with command and got hit around a little bit. As here on the Cape after losing to Texas Tech back in the regionals.
2-2, and got Cameron Este looking. There was Gilchrist for the first out of the inning. As Este will sit after coming in for Cody Henry, and there's one away here in the top of the 7th.
Boy, Gilchrist comes with a 92-mile-an-hour fastball for strike 2, and then reels back on a 77-mile-an-hour curveball. And when you're Cameron Este and you're looking at those pitches, boy, that is tough to decipher and tough to pick up.
Chris Hudgens now takes a fastball upstairs for ball 1. Hudgens 0 for 2 today, all 2 of them being pop-outs in the infield. One to first and the other one to short. And he sees another fastball go by him there for a 1-1 count. Gilchrist sets in and fires, and a big hack by Hudgens for a 1-2 count.
A lot of guys still coming up from super regionals and regionals. As Hudgens was one of those players from Cal State Fullerton. They made regionals but lost. Gavin and Hildebrand were here before him, however.
Sounded like he broke his bat there on the hit over to Clark at first, and he easily deals with that for the second out.
Apart from that top half of the 5th, Hyannis
now
really struggling to put any hits together.
17, Treg Habercorn.
And you talk about a broken bat, it's going to happen when the pitcher and Gilchrist is throwing 94 now.
Fastball misses outside for Gilchrist. 1-0 count, 2 outs here. Top of the 7th inning, 6-1, the Falmouth Commodores lead. Treg Habercorn swings and misses at that one. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Yeah, Habercorn just a little bit behind on the fastball, as Gilchrist has been blowing it by everybody.
The 1-1, that one down low. 2 balls and 1 strike for Habercorn, who scored the only run for Hyannis in that 5th inning with an infield single. Also reached in the 3rd on a fielder's choice and made it all the way to 3rd with the bases loaded. Fastball outside by Gilchrist, 3-1 count, as that was that 3rd inning where Hyannis failed to get any runners across with bases loaded and 2 outs. 3-1 pitch. This swing and a miss by Habercorn. Full count for Gilchrist.
And this Falmouth staff has just been dominant, as has the bullpen. Only a 186 batting average against.
Payoff pitch by Gilchrist. And dropping the bat right where it was Habercorn. He waited, as did Gilchrist, but a walk induced with 2 outs here and a man on for Hyannis.
Yeah, and Trey Truitt, who's swinging a really hot bat, 2 for 3 on the day at the dish. And we've seen this time and time again today. Hyannis putting things together with 2 outs, and Trey Truitt has been in the middle of both of those late rallies.
Manager Gassman might have found his spot here for Trey Truitt as he watches a fastball go by him little angry with himself there as he might have thought about swinging on that one. But Truitt, 2 singles today in the leadoff spot for the first time here for Hyannis. 0-1 pitch. He pops it up. Moving back is Merrill right on the fringe there of the outfield, and he makes the catch for the final out of the inning. So 1 walk induced there by Gilchrist in his first inning of relief, but his team still leads 6-1. We head to the bottom of the 7th here on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. Bottom of the 7th inning here for the Falmouth Commodores. They lead 6-1 over the Hyannis Hard Rocks.
Bryce Johnson.
So Bryce Johnson will lead things off here for Falmouth. Daniel Johnson still in here in his 2nd inning of relief for Hyannis. Went 1-2-3 in his previous inning with a strikeout. And that one is fouled off by Bryce Johnson there for strike 1.
Yeah, and Johnson was one of those players just not really on top of his game in the first few and has just been crushing Hyannis pitching throughout these past 2 days. It seems like the rest of the league has as well. They're still on 5, looking for that first win.
2 for 3 is Johnson, and he gets a ground ball. Almost hits Ron Polk as he moves out of the way. Might have hit someone's drink off there as well, as Trundy will walk over there. And
Ron Polk he's impervious to getting hit by baseballs, as the baseball knows that if it hits him, it's a sin.
That one's popped into the air, and this one goes in the other direction of the fans. Bounces into the metal stands, and a 1-2 count here for Johnson against Bryce Johnson, who is 2 for 3 today and scored 2 of the 6 runs here for Falmouth. The 1-2, just getting a piece of that one, was Bryce Johnson, and they'll stay at a 1-2 count.
You know what I love about Ron Polk is he's standing in the exact same spot as he was before that foul ball. He doesn't care.
The 1-2 again, fouled off again by Bryce Johnson. He's got to stay there if he's got to give the defensive. Like you said, I think he's seen enough that one close ball to him isn't going to put any fear in his mind at this point.
Yeah, longtime head coach at Mississippi State, considered to be the father of SEC baseball.
1-2 pitch, breaking outside, didn't catch for Daniel Johnson, so a 2-2 count.
Polk coaching a few years at Wareham, and then finally came over to Hyannis after Chad Gassman had to egg him on.
And once again, slightly fouled off there by Bryce Johnson, who is making Daniel Johnson work a little bit in this at-bat, as most pitches that Johnson has given, the other Johnson has dealt away. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Bottom of the 7th inning, 6-1, and another fouled away pitch behind goes Bryce Johnson.
Boy, Johnson flashes a smile, and the other Johnson isn't Daniel Johnson. DJ putting his head down, wiping the sweat off of his brow. He's working out there.
The 2-2 pitch, and that one is flown out into center. And into that one will be Habercorn for the first out, and the battle of the Johnsons is won on the mound by Daniel Johnson.
Johnson wins it, Johnson loses it, but either way, your battle is that correct word. He's absolutely worked DJ out there. And now Michael Gigliotti, who's had a fine afternoon, steps up dish for Falmouth.
Walked, flown out, and doubled, but was caught at home during that 3-run inning in the 5th. That one misses outside by Johnson for a 1-0 count.
Hitting 270 on the Cape this year, but that does not define how good he is, how good his play is.
And that one's lined right up the middle by Gigliotti over the head of Johnson as he kind of tried to force his glove in the way of it. But a 1-out hit for Gigliotti, and up to bat will be Tyler Lawrence.
How can you stop that one? Gigliotti just all over
Tyler Lawrence.
Johnson there, smokes one back up the middle. Really nice piece of hitting from this Falmouth lineup. They're 4-1 for a reason. Their hitting has not been there all year. It's been their pitching that's really defined this Falmouth team. But either way, this lineup coming together here for the Commodores. 6 runs tonight on 8 hits.
Johnson, as that one called for a strike on Tyler Lawrence, who reached on an error, grounded out and walked in the 5th inning. 0-1 pitch. Getting up quickly there was Hudgens. Doesn't make a play over. It'll be a 1-1 count.
Gigliotti, no steals early in this season. Definitely a threat. Lots of speed as he slides back there with the pickoff throw from Johnson. But, you know, if you're Falmouth, you're going to win games. If your pitching has been as dominant as they have, they've only let up 7 runs on the year. 9 earned runs.
That one is ripped into left field. Going back is Wharton, and he's going to have to watch it go over the scoreboard. A 2-run home run for Tyler Lawrence, and it's an 8-1 lead for the Falmouth Commodores.
Oh, man. That wasn't a home run. That was a moonshot. Hit off the top of the scoreboard. Second home run in 2 nights. That's pretty impressive from the new Cape member and Tyler Lawrence. As we saw him hit one out last night at YD, hit one to deep right field. Cleared the fences there a lot higher than these fences, but that one was that was a no doubt shot. That scoreboard out in left field is got to be at least 20 feet off the ground, right?
Has to be. Has to check for a dent there now. There's a new scoreboard, too.
Pinch hitting out of University of Massachusetts, number 13.
That's one way to ruin a scoreboard is smoke a home run off of it.
So now it won't be Trevor Larnick in for Falmouth. It'll be Dylan Morris for Falmouth. Morris started in the game yesterday. In the game a couple of days ago against Hyannis as well. So now he's getting some action here with his team leading 8-1. Big hack there for an 0-2 count.
Yeah, we talked about Morris a little bit on Tuesday night's game. His grandfather, a very active volunteer for the Harbor Hawks, as he grew up in Barnstable, went to Barnstable High School. Now playing for teams that he watched as a little kid.
Johnson. 2-run home run by Tyler Lawrence has given him 2 more runs on the board. And he throws a fastball upstairs for a 2-2 count.
Gosh, with Lawrence and Matt Deuce coming up for Falmouth, this lineup gets scary with those power numbers.
The 2-2. That one, chopper, and making the play there is Este. We forgot to mention has moved over to first. So Henry not in the game anymore. Cameron Este making a stint over at first base for Hyannis. Normally played in left field for Hyannis for the first 5 games.
Zachary Clark.
but makes a play there for the second out of the inning.
Both Henry and Este have struggled at the plate, and looks like Gassman trying to solve that problem, trying to give Este a chance here. He started every game in the outfield, but now after Henry went 0 for 2, Este getting a shot.
Upstairs from Johnson, 2-0 count to Zachary Clark, who popped up into that weird 3-6 double play made by Hyannis early in that first inning to almost quiet the huge outburst early on by Falmouth, and then he popped out again actually in a fielder's choice. But a 3-0 count here for Johnson with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 7th. And he puts one right down the middle there for strike 1. Falmouth leading 8-1. 3-1 pitch from Johnson and a big swing of the fastball by Clark for a full count.
Yeah, Johnson clawing his way out of a hole. And it's really encouraging to see a pitcher, 2 runs in the inning, do this.
Payoff pitch too far outside for Johnson. And a 2-out walk here for Falmouth. Already leading 8-1.
That pitch right on the outside corner. And it just has not hit for any Hyannis pitcher, that low pitch right at the knees. It looked good, too. Andrew Gonzalez had one of those, as did John Gavin. We'll have a pitch hitter come up here
number 12,
for Falmouth.
Ryan Wolfsberg.
So Ryan Wolfsberg will be up to bat. He will be taking the place of Matt Deuce, the DH. So no probable defensive switch. So that's 2 different pinch hitters for Falmouth as they lead 8-1 in this game off of 8 hits. A 2-run homer by Tyler Lawrence has defined this inning here for Falmouth. And a big swing and a miss there by Wolfsberg.
Wolfsberg designated, a Division III player out of Hamilton, and we've seen a few of those early on here. A few D3 players here and there on the Cape League teams trying to test their stuff against the best of the best.
Fouled off by Wolfsberg. 1-2 count here for Johnson as he tries to make his way out of this inning.
I'm not sure if I like this look here from Wolfsberg as he's got his baseball pants pulled under his cleats near his heel.
The 1-2 swing and a miss by Wolfsberg, and Daniel Johnson frustrated with himself but escapes the inning after a 2-run home run by Tyler Lawrence right into the scoreboard, and he makes this an 8-1 game for the Falmouth Commodores here on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network.
Learning at Curry College extends beyond the classroom as embedded in all that they do. Curry prepares students to engage in successful careers and active citizenship with a global perspective. Explore undergraduate majors, minors, and concentrations, including new majors in accounting, biochemistry, and mobile application development online at www.curry.edu.
Top of the 8th inning here for Hyannis.
Number 4,
Ford Proctor will be up to bat for Hyannis as they now trail 8-1 against the Falmouth Commodores. Still in here for Falmouth is Gilchrist, and getting a first swing at that one was Proctor. right over to Coach Sowers over there at first base as he talks a little bit to the bullpen there of Falmouth, and he gives them the ball finally.
Funny man over there in the first base box.
0-1 pitch into the dirt. It goes, though, for Gilchrist, and a 1-1 count for Ford Proctor. Proctor so far today as he lines that one over the head of Gassman for a 1-2 count. Grounded out in the first, infield single in the third, which was also when he was left stranded in that bases loaded situation, and then a single in the fifth to give that 1 RBI for his team today. 1-2 pitch, and he looked at that one there for strike 3, and he froze him up, did Gilchrist for the first out.
Knew it as soon as it hit the glove, as soon as it was about 2 feet from the plate.
Now batting.
Get the bat on the shoulder. Really nice pitch there from
15,
Gilchrist.
Zach
And
Rutherford.
Gilchrist out of the bullpen, who didn't have a great season for Dallas Baptist, now just doing a really nice job here in relief.
Rutherford watches a fastball by the head go by him. So we'll give you some updates going on around the Cape. Bottom of the 8th inning at Stony Brook as the Whitecaps foul ball there by Rutherford for a 1-2 count. The Brewster Whitecaps trailed the Yarmouth, then the Red Sox 9-4. Top of the 9th inning, 6-5. The Orleans Firebirds lead at Lowell Park against the Cotuit Kettleers. Gilchrist deals that one. Flown into the air. Running back for it is Clark and gets near the bullpen. Unable to make the catch, though. So Rutherford will step back in with a 1-2 count. Bottom of the 6th, a tie game between the Bourne Braves and the Chatham Anglers at Doran Park. And in the top of the 6th inning, 2-0. The Wareham Gatemen lead over the Harwich Mariners at White House Field.
Gosh, and it just speaks volumes about this pitching staff for Falmouth, that the Red Sox scoring 9 runs and all against Brewster today, and they couldn't strike yesterday. Only had 2 hits.
And a swing and a miss there by Rutherford. So a backwards K and frontwards K here for Gilchrist in this top of the 8th inning. 2 outs here, 8-1 lead for the Commodores.
That was a filthy curveball in the inside corner.
Now batting.
Rutherford had no shot at that one.
Carl
Swung
Stedman.
through it, but boy, that was a dirty pitch for a guy who's been throwing 93 this afternoon.
Carl Stadjuar up to bat now for Hyannis, who has struggled greatly as he sees the first pitch go in the dirt. Has had 2 huge flyouts to left field, both of the warning track for Bryce Johnson to handle, and then also struck out swinging in the second. So he's seen some good contact, but hasn't able to get anything going. As he almost brings it around, they check it at first, says he didn't go, and a 2-0 count for Stadjuar.
Only 3 hits for Stadjuar. With those 3 hits in the 3 games that he's played.
The 2-0 caught the upstairs half for a 2-1 count.
Excuse me, now 4th game that Stadjuar has played as he came in last Sunday night against Bourne.
2-1 fouled away by Stadjuar. 2-2 count, 2 outs for Gilchrist. Top of the 8th inning here at Early Allen Diamond. Two-two pitch, and just getting a piece of that one was Stadjuar. Goes into the parking lot, stays at a 2-2 count.
Stadjuar a little bit behind the fastball, as have most of the Hyannis hitters this afternoon against Gilchrist. See what he does here.
And he drops it in right by the shoulder of Stadjuar, and he leans out of the way. Gets called for ball 3. Payoff pitch awaiting here for Gilchrist. Sets and deals. Fouled away once again by Stadjuar. Same direction. Stays at a full count.
And, Stadjuar out of New Mexico and Gilchrist out of Dallas Baptist, they've seen each other before as they were in the same regional grouping that Texas Tech hosted.
3-2 count and a slight ground ball over to McLaughlin, and he can't field it, though. Not enough room for him to do so, and it's We'll see if it'll be a base hit, as we'll believe they'll probably give that to Staduar as he gets on base with 2 outs.
Yeah, hit off the glove of McLaughlin on his glove side. It was right up the middle, and I think that Staduar was going to be safe anyways, and they do give him a hit. They tally that as number 7 on the board for Hyannis. And again, a runner on with 2 outs in the inning.
So Jordan Rogers up to bat. 1 for 3 tonight. Was caught stealing in that second inning and has popped out and flown out the previous 2 at-bats. Staduar over at first. Hyannis trailing 8-1. Gilchrist deals. Catches the outer half. 0-2 count quickly on Jordan Rogers. Gilchrist sets. Looks in. The righty deals. Down low. Lost, though, by Lawrence. And Staduar is going to have a nice trot over to second.
Yeah, now a scoring opportunity here. Runner in scoring position. Staduar now much speed on him, but Rogers pokes something through lightly in the infield. Maybe Staduar can come around to score. He's looked a little lost up there against Gilchrist, however.
The 1-2 to Rogers. And he gets a piece of that one. That one is going to drop into left field. Staduar is going to turn to right. There's going to be a play at home, but Staduar is going to slide in safely. Rogers will get over to second. It's an RBI for him, and it's 8-2 Falmouth.
Great work from Rogers. Just lines that high fastball. It looks like Gilchrist missed a spot there. Lines it straight in the center. But what questioned me was Michael Gigliotti just looked very nonchalant about the throw home as he got it on 1 hop, and Staduar was about to round third. Took 2 shuffle steps in and then fired one home, but looked a little bit relaxed. 8-2, the lead now for Falmouth.
Drew Wharton sees a fastball go upstairs for strike 1. Hyannis now 2 runs on 8 hits. As Hyannis has averaged 9.4 hits per game as he gets a strike there by Wharton for strike 2. They've averaged 9.4 hits per game. They've only averaged 2.2 runs, though. All teams against them have averaged 10.4, but 6.2 runs per game. 0-2 pitch lost there by Gilchrist for a 1-2 count.
And, you know, that directly speaks to the pitching and just a lack of knocking runs in. Lack of not taking advantage of opportunities. We'll see if Wharton can take advantage of it here.
1-2 fouled that one off as Wharton, as he will reset. Have to include, though, that the team against Hyannis is possibly a little inflated due to that 12-4 game at Harwich a little bit with those runs scored there. But definitely some interesting numbers as Hyannis. You can see Hyannis and both teams are average the same amount of hits, but nowhere near the same amount of runs. 1-2 again. And they're going to say Wharton went, but Lawrence lost it again. He's going to have to make the throw over, and he gets the play over at first base in time to get this final out of the inning. 1 run does come aboard for Hyannis, though, as Jordan Rogers gets an RBI as Staduar comes in to score, although the Falmouth Commodores still lead 8-2. We head to the bottom of the 8th inning on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. Bottom of the 8th inning here, 8-2. The Falmouth Commodores lead.
Out of Oregon State
Jack
University,
Keffer, Gabe
number
2 here
Caden
as
Grenier.
Lucas Gilbreth out of Minnesota will take the mound for Hyannis, replacing Daniel Johnson. As Hyannis put one more run on the board in the previous inning with the 2-out RBI double for Jordan Rogers, scoring Carl Stadjuar. It'll be Caden Grenier, Matt McLaughlin, and Kevin Merrill, the 8-9-1 for the Falmouth Commodores, unless anything changes. We've already seen 2 pinch hitters tonight so far. Someone else on the mound or in the bullpen for Falmouth. So we'll see if they maybe go to someone in the 9th inning. Gilbreth, that one down low, and a 1-1 count to Grenier.
We've seen Gilbreth in one appearance this season, was credited with the loss at Harwich. Walked 4 and struck out 3 in 2 innings of work, which interesting is he didn't walk many during the year. 46 strikeouts and only 15 walks and 33 innings of work at Minnesota.
Had a 1.35 ERA while he was there.
Team low.
1-2 count for Grenier. Gilbreth, the lefty, deals and fouled away by Grenier. Stays at a 1-2 count.
Grenier, we've seen him, saw him at shortstop on Tuesday night. Last night. Also playing third. And just bouncing around from infield position after infield position, but always starting for Falmouth.
1-2 in the dirt. 2 balls and 2 strikes for Grenier, who led off in the 6th and the lead off again here. He's 0 for 3 tonight. The one Commodore who has struggled on this team, who's had 8 hits and 8 runs with 2 strikeouts. And he lines that one right into the glove of Rutherford, and they're going to say he caught it before it hit the ground for the first out.
Yeah, and he did catch it before it hit the ground, but even if he didn't, would have been an easy play at first for Rutherford. Good play there from
University of Kansas,
the shortstop playing second base.
McLaughlin.
Rutherford playing second today. Ford Proctor at short today. Looking at their defensive positionings is manager Gassman. 1 out. Bottom of the 8th inning. Matt McLaughlin in at short, who's 0 for 2, 2 strikeouts and a walk. But that walk scored a run in the 5th inning. He flies that one out into right. Truitt ranges over and makes the catch for the 2nd out.
Yeah, just getting under it there. McLaughlin pops it up into deep right field. It was a good pitch from Gilbreth. Good location.
Now batting at University of South Florida, number 4.
Now we get the top lineup that
Merrill.
they've done the most damage by far for this Falmouth lineup. 7 out of the 8 runs coming with the first 5 batters.
Kevin Merrill, this will be his 5th at-bat today. Has scored 2 runs. And both of those 2 runs scored when he had infield hits as well. And other than that, he's grounded out and lined out. Bolt is short. As a strike is called there for a 1-1 count for Lucas Gilbreth.
Yeah, and Merrill during the season has absolutely owned ACC pitching. Hit .320 with a .418 on base percentage this past year and playing the Great Lakes League last summer. Just a short stint, only 3 games, but good player here in Kevin Merrill. I'm sure we'll see a lot of him his junior year at South Florida.
2-1 gets in there on Merrill for a 2-2 count. 2 outs here for Lucas Gilbreth. His team trailing 8-2 here in the bottom of the 8th. Gilbreth deals, swing and a miss by Merrill. So a strikeout earned here for Gilbreth. The final out as we head to the final opportunity here for Hyannis. They trail 8-2 here at Gov Fuller Field on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. Last opportunity here for the Hyannis Harborough as they trail 8-2 here against the Falmouth Commodores.
Number 18,
it will be Cameron Este, Chris Hudgens, and Treg Habercorn. The 7, 8, and 9 for Hyannis. They will face Tyler Jones out of Wichita State, who Cameron Este takes the first big swing and a miss there for strike one, as Hyannis did see Jones in their last game that they played. He pitched 1 inning, 1 hit, as Este flies that one right out over our heads there.
Yeah, I was ducking.
0-2 count here for Este. Jones sets and deals, and there's a chopper over to second, fielded by Merrill for the first out.
Yeah, and Jones, a scoreless inning against Hyannis, pitched 2/3 of an inning out of Wareham and got the win. Was credited with the win the day before the Hyannis game. A 5-4 win for
number 36,
Falmouth.
Chris Hudgens.
And Hyannis they just have really struggled. They've not had the lead since Saturday night against Harwich in that 12-run loss. Haven't held the lead since.
0-1 count for Hudgens. Fastball outside, 1-1 count. Hudgens 0 for 3 today. 2 pop-outs and a ground out. Jones, the 1-1 pitch, catches the outer half for a 1-2 count. Hudgens, first time behind the plate tonight. I'd like to see a lot more of him now that he's up here. 1-2 pitch, looks at that in the dirt. 2-2 count as Hudgens' teammate Tristan Hildebrand on deck, as he will be pinch hitting most likely for Trey Habercorn.
Yeah, and Hudgens gets to start tonight, but he's got another catcher coming up in Chris Collins out of South Carolina.
Looks at that pitch down low as well and gets himself to a full count against Jones.
So still some competition there behind the plate once Collins gets up. Collins had a great year this year for South Carolina. Started every game.
Payoff pitch, and that one is ground ball over to McLaughlin, and he ranges over to first for the second out.
Smoked by Hudgens. McLaughlin with a nice little backhand, and Hildebrand with the last at-bat for Hyannis, and this is going to be a tough 6th straight loss for the Harbor Hawks, still unable to get the win.
Hyannis waiting for a couple of more guys to come up, as still awaiting Chris Hudgens up here now.
Cal State Fullerton,
Dylan Busby and
Tristan
Taylor Walls out of
Hildebrand.
Florida State still awaiting, as the aforementioned Chris Cullen. The only 2 remaining players, not including pitchers, that are still not made it up here to Hyannis. As that one also awaiting Ricky Salinas, a teammate of Ford Proctor. So 1-0 pitch down low there by Hildebrand for a 2-0 count.
And with this win, Falmouth moving into first place. They were tied with Bourne, both 4-1 record, and they'll stay atop. They will stay atop the standings.
2-0 called the strike on Hildebrand for a 2-1 count. Habercorn, before he was replaced, reached on a fielder's choice, an infield single and walked, so reach base every time. Big hack by Hildebrand. 2-2 count. Final strike for Hyannis. They trail 8-2.
Get to it. Just won their first game yesterday, so Hyannis still the only team in the league looking for that first win.
Jones, the 2-2 pitch, and Hildebrand watched that go by for a 3-2 count.
And that was a close one on the outside corner there. But Hildebrand staying alive here.
3-2 pitch, Jones once again, and he gets that one inside and down low, and Hildebrand draws a 2-out walk.
And that has seemed to be the coming and going of Hyannis this afternoon, as
Now batting
every
out of
single
Richmond
runner
University,
has been
True.
placed on base with 2 outs in the inning, and you're just not going to score. You're not going to score runs that way when everybody is getting on with 2 outs. You got to be able to get on base earlier in the inning.
First called strike on Truitt as Hyannis has found a faint heartbeat here in the top of the 9th inning. Hildebrand on first with 2 outs. 0-1 count here to Trey Truitt. Jones, fastball upstairs to Truitt for a 1-1 count.
Truitt with another good afternoon, 2 for 4 with 2 singles that been shot up the middle. One of them shot up the middle, the other one to the right side.
The 1-1 to Truitt. Fouls that one off behind him. 1-2 count as Hyannis is down to their last strike once again. And Truitt has definitely looked much more comfortable in this leadoff role here for Hyannis.
Yeah, and I don't doubt that we'll see him again in it. Looking for that leadoff hitter after some faultings from Habercorn.
The 1-2 by Jones. Swing and a miss by Truitt, and that'll do it. And Hyannis falls to 0-6 on the season, while the Falmouth Commodores move to 5-1. And they take 2 early games against Hyannis. And Hyannis has already played 2 games now against Falmouth and 2 against Bourne, but still looking for that first win of the season.
Yeah, a 2-hour and 10-minute game. This one was wrapped up quickly, even though the 8-2 scoreline, because when Falmouth was hitting, they were hitting in bunches. 3 innings in the first, 3 innings in the 5th. And what you look at, Gabe, is Gonzalez comes out for his second start, and in the first inning gets rocked around. John Gavin comes out for his second start, gets rocked around, and then settles in. And really, it starts and ends with the pitching. Once you get in the hole, a 3-0 hole, Hyannis had some life there in the 5th after they pushed one across with 2 outs, and then you go into the bottom of the 5th inning and give up 3 runs, and it just deflates the team. And it starts and ends with pitching. And you said earlier those numbers that run the runs against a little inflated because of the Harwich game. Think about this: 26 runs it differentiate Hyannis from their opponents, and minus 26 is the worst in the league. And it's not because of the offense; it's because of pitching that just can't give the offense a chance to win.
Hyannis will try once again tomorrow to get their first win of the season, although they will do it in their 3rd home game, but they will do it against the Harwich Mariners, who put a beating on them in the first game that they played 12-4. So we will wait to see how Hyannis can bounce back now, as now once again falling and allowing runs early in the game, and Hyannis not being able to find the bats. They stranded the bases loaded in the 3rd inning, but could not get anything going. So they will return back to McKeon Park tomorrow at 6 o'clock start as they look for their first win of the season. Well, that'll do it for us here. For my broadcast partner, Jack Keffer, I've been Gabe Sutsick here from Gulf Fuller Field. The final score, once again, 8-2. The Falmouth Commodores take the win. They move to 5-1. Thank you once again, all ladies and gentlemen, for listening. We hope you enjoy the rest of your evening. You've been listening to Hard Rock Baseball on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network.